Hi everyone, and welcome to my newest League of Legends games commentary. So, in this game, we will be talking about Shyvana, and we will be playing her in the top lane role. So, this game was taken from one of my ranked solo queue games. So, this, I believe, the rating was around just in the middle of 1650 and 1700. So some good quality of play that we will have the chance to see here. So, and my opponent in this matchup will be Aurelia. So basically, Aurelia, one of the most popular solo top champs for quite a while now. So I believe personally that Shyvana top is a very good way to counter Aurelia top, and we will try to in this video to discuss about it. Shyvana is also a very good solo top laner in my opinion against a lot of champ, but I think that it's more important to focus on how it works versus Aurelia, because personally, in my opinion, Aurelia is right now the most in my opinion, Aurelia has always been the strongest solo top laner in in the history of League of Legends since the day people started to learn how to play her. It took almost a full year for Riot to do a slight nerf to her sustain, and as you can see, even though she is a little bit less sustainable early game, she is still very strong in the late game, and that's, in my opinion, the reason why you want an Aurelia. But still, we'll discuss more about the details on how to beat Aurelia, or maybe just how to win your lane in the solo top role in the future of this video. Right now, let's just talk about some stuff that I wanted to cover. So first of all, I would like, since this is my 10th video, I would like to take the moment to thank everyone that took the time to listen to me at least partially while I'm blabbering about all this theory crafting, and maybe you think my tips are useful, maybe not, but still. But I would like to thank everyone for the support. I really enjoy helping you, trying to give back to the community. Oh, as you can see, oh, good gank by Mundo. Always love. He takes a little bit too much damage, but as you can see, since I'm full HP, I do not fear just standing in the face of Aurelia. And even though Mundo is very low right now, the fact that Aurelia is almost out of mana, and the fact that she burned her flash, really makes this gank worthwhile. So as I said, thank you very much. I do not beg for a subscriber, I do not beg for view. I know that many of you will probably view my video from, look at the damage, that's Shyvana solo top damage. I know that many of you maybe will watch this video from one of my threads in the League of Legends forum, but I don't do this because I'm desperate for you. In fact, as long as I get a few views for my videos, I'll be more than happy. The reason is that I know I'm not the best, I'm still learning, and also I don't really get anything except gratification for this work. I know some people, some YouTube channels knows how to, I don't know, monetize their video, but for me it's very buggy, and I tried, and honestly I realized at some point that's not really the reason why I'm doing this little hobby. I don't really like it. You can believe me or not, that's your choice, but I know I'm telling the truth, and so that's why I really want to thank everyone that encouraged me, because those videos, guys, are for you. But still, I'm blabbering, I'm going in every direction, so now let's talk about the serious stuff. And I know that right away, if you're a little bit here, just a little tip, if you want to, I already talked it in my other videos about morale. I know it's might sound silly, but in League of Legends, in the early game, morale is almost the key statistic, if you want. It's not a very measurable statistics, but oh, as you can see, what did I do there? I saw that they were ganking Cassiopeia, and Boom! I decide to get a kill, and we get a double kill. So they kind of kill Cassiopeia, but still we get both Nautilus and Cartus. It was very worth it. And as you can see, Nautilus with his failed ganks and his 2 death is really starting to fall behind. And if you want to, I tried to play Nautilus a few days ago. I just started it, and I like since he become a flavor of the month, because I like jungling and I wanted to buy Nautilus since he was released. But now that I see that he's worth it and that he seems fun and that I got the IP, because he's pretty costly, I bought it. But if you want to play Nautilus, please realize that he's the weakest when he is at level 1, 2 and maybe 3. So don't try to gank until at least you're level 3, because if you win it's okay, but if you fail, and you will most likely fail, you will get set so much behind, and you will see in this game this Nautilus won't contribute as much as the Mundo. Also he's camping top lane, and I know that in the current metagame, fellow top laner, fellow jungler, and all of this, right now the big trend is to camp the top lane, because it's logical. The top lane is the easiest one to gank. Why? Because the middle, almost every competitive mid laner now these days has an escape tool besides their flash, and as well it's harder to gank the mid lane because there are much more position in it to escape. But still, as you can see here, trying to fight and stuff like that. So, as I said, try to handle the morale of your team. Even if you lose the laning phase, I don't want to sound cheesy and say like, no, it's okay guys, we're gonna win. But at least just stay quiet. If you lose, and if you go for a good early game, don't go get cocky, because it means absolutely nothing after watching a lot of tournament and stream. Or the early game is maybe like 20% of the reason why you will win a game. Like 40% would be morale. After that you have team conditioning, team coordination, and after that, if I would have to give a last category for maybe rounding this up, it would be share between individual skill and luck, because yes, there is a sheer amount of luck in League of Legends. I don't, not 50%, but at least 10%, at least in my opinion, from my experience and from watching the pro player play. So now, my point was, why did I buy sword shoes? So this is probably the reason why many people will say, you noob, you should have buy Merc Tread. Merc Tread are like the wind boots. If you buy Merc Tread, you're like the big pros and blah 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 blah. And I don't want to be mean to people who believe this, but I don't like to play like everyone plays. I like sometimes to try some slight variant build on character, and if it works, I tend to defend my position. So why sorcerer shoes? So basically, you have to think, what were sorcerer shoes designed for? Sorcerer shoes were designed to give a good early game boost to your magic damage. And as you can see, I'm not maxing the usual stuff. We will get to this in a few minutes. Oh yes, okay, I'll finish the topic on the sword shoes. After that, I'll describe a brief overview of Shyvana ability. Here we try to gank, but she flash. Will we be able to get her? I don't think so. She's just once an enemy champion cross this line, just don't gank. Not worth it. At least wait for the minion wave, and will I dive? I don't remember. I should dive. Maybe I think I can one-shot her if I do go for it, and I think that Aurelia knows it, so that's why she stayed this way. But you see, I'm using my E to. Okay, so let's get to the sword shoe. So Shyvana, almost all of her ability deals magic damage. Magic damage is from her W, magic damage from her E, magic damage from her ult when she goes into the dragon form. In the Fusroda form, if you want my advice. Oh god, so sweet. I had to make this silly joke. It was a mandatory. So if you get sorcerer shoes, basically you boost your early game damage. And I don't know if I said it to you, but I'm an engineer by formation. I just finished my graduation. That's why I didn't post any video in the last month, because I was really busy with finishing all of my summer class to get my degree and starting my master in metallurgy science. I don't know if that's the word, but I don't want to sound like too cocky or that I'm smarter than everyone, but that just means for me that I like to play with numbers, and that I like to always go for this little optimal way of using anything, and that means also in League of Legends. And I found with some number, it's still a work in progress, but so far I found that if you use spell penetration and you combine the effect from the percentage magic penetration and the flat magic penetration from your boots, you get overall an optimum between the loss of effectiveness of your spell penetration during when the enemy champion get more MR, because this is a fact. The more MR the enemy champion gets, the less effective your sorcerer shoes are, and you get and the optimal is between this loss of effectiveness from your flat penetration and the augmentation of effectiveness from your percentage penetration. So I found that the number would be maybe around 24 or something like that. It's still a work in progress. I have to maybe take the time to run the to really to really make my model for defense penetration in League of Legends more plausible, but when it will be, in my opinion, presentable, I will be glad to present it to you guys so that everyone can give me their opinion of what is wrong, what is done well, and so far we can really get the right number for all people like us who likes to cram some numbers. So this is why on Shyvana, getting just the sword shoes and this magic penetration give you all the damage. To continue my point, I must introduce another concept in the game. Basically, when you're playing a bruiser, when you're playing the solo top lane as a bruiser, this is the meta. This is the meta. If you don't like it, I'm sad for you, but I have watched the meta evolve in League of Legends since I started playing, like when the game was in beta mode. I don't know if it's pronounced correctly, but this and right now the solo top bruiser is like the optimal way to play, and it's pretty fine. There's some good diversity, and when Riot decide to nerf or buff some champion, it's okay. But as a bruiser in solo top lane, your objective is to balance damage and tankiness. You have to be tanky enough to be able to run into the enemy team and be able to do enough damage not to be ignored, and you have to be and you have to be tanky enough so that you can survive effectively in a team fight, and you have to do enough damage so that the enemy team can't just ignore you. That's basically everything any people who tries to devise a build or something in League of Legends should try for. So what I realized with Shyvana is that her damage is very high. Her magic damage from the burnout and the flame breath is very high. So we'll just go to a quick review of her skill. I know it has been a long time since I presented this champion. I did another video in maybe my second video on Shyvana jungling. I don't really like Shyvana jungling, especially in the current state of the game, because right now the big trend is get cheese jungler that are good at getting some cheap ganks early and mid game. Those champions would be something like Alistar, which is really the iconic cheese ganker in my opinion, because it's so buggy when he does his pulverize and his headbutt. You in a correct Alistar can CC you for early game for a good 2.5 seconds. It's just crazy. Nautilus 2, a champion with 4 CC ability on it. So here you have it, the big CC. So Shyvana, not a very effective jungler. She's really good at the top lane, and we'll go in a few minutes over that. So her abilities. First, our twin bite is basically an auto attack buff ability. So basically, when you activate it, it resets your auto attack timer. So if you work your timing, you can effectively get instantly 2 attack at on an enemy champion. This is very good for dealing some good bursts early and mid game, and also it procs on it effect 2 times every time you do it. Here, a dragon fight, as you can see, what I'm now doing, I'm jumping on her gut, and I exhaust him, so he knows that he can't deal any damage because basically we killed some of his friend, and after that he decides to run away. But look at that. That's some very good damage, as you can see. Even though he uses ult a little bit late, I'm still able to get him quite easily. So Aurelia here did not make the correct play. She should have pushed the tower, because basically when the top laner commit to getting a dragon, the least you can do is to push the tower, because even if you back and try to help, you will be too late, unless the enemy team is a bunch of cowards who doesn't know, who are afraid to engage you, because maybe it's just their play style, or they're not very confident, or maybe it's perfectly legitimate, maybe because they're behind. Even in the 4v5 scenario, they don't want to engage. So our second skill is burnout. Basically, it's a very simple skill. It deals area of effect damage, and it boosts our movement speed as well. It lasts longer if you auto attack with it. Our flame breath, basically it sends the little fireball that you saw, and it reduces armor, dealing some good burst early on, and late game enabling you to reduce the armor so that your AD carry can be more effective. And your dragon descent, you might have seen me use it, is basically you turn into dragon and jump to the target location. So, and your passive basically enhance every single of your ability. I don't want to go technically over that, but basically the most important point for this build is that auto attacking makes your burnout last longer, so you can deal more magic damage, and auto attacking after you hit your flame breath, it deals 15% of the ability damage as a bonus damage, and as extra damage on the enemy target. So basically that's why I really like to build MR on Shyvana, because basically it gives her so much magic damage on dispel, and on the unhit effect on this spell. And also when you get another core item for Shyvana, which is the Wit's End, which deal magic damage, it really helps. Here I completely missed my E. I didn't predict that she was going to turn around, but still. Yeah, as you can see, I'm kind of winning the trade, even though I don't have any sustain mechanisms and no wriggles. That's basically because I'm very tanky, and that I bought. Oh, here I should use her ult and all her stuff. When fighting Aurelia, you really want to avoid fighting her while her hit hand style is activated, because she's much stronger in those moments. So, okay, so basically, if you combine, as I said, if you want to play a bruiser, you have to balance tankiness and damage. I found that using sword shoes and afterwards just going for straight tankiness in the form of a phage and of a warmog is a really good way to get Shyvana a good start in the early, mid, and somehow mid-ish late game. So this is why I really recommend you try this build, because especially now these days, most squishy target don't build MR. They prefer the AD carrier prefer to rely on the protection of his team, and since Aurelia is Shyvana is really good at jumping on enemies, the AD carry can't be protected from you, and if they want to just peel you off, they'll spend, since you're very naturally tanky because of your ult, which give you like a lot of magic and armor, bonus armor, it won't be very effective. And if the AD carry tries to focus you, that's why I take exhaust. You can just exhaust her, and she will waste like the complete fight trying to run away from you and attacking you while exhausted. Oh yes, that's also a very big difference from my build. As you can see, I'm using Ghost and Exhaust, not the the very popular Flash Ignite. Why? I know that if Ignite would be good on Shyvana because since she has a lot of early game burst, this can help you secure more kills. And I know that Flash is OP, but personally, since Shyvana has a lot of natural mobility from her W and her dash and her ultimate, I prefer to use Ghost and Exhaust because it's overall better through the game. Because correctly used, Ghost can be as effective in most lineup as a Flash. But I know that in some lineup you really prefer to have the Flash. Like let's say you're here, I was really afraid of getting caught, but it was legitimate because if I was CC'd by Nautilus, Aurelia would have jumped on me, she would have slowed me, Nautilus would have slowed me, and after that, as you can see, Aurelia as a phage. Ghost is not very useful when you start to get slowed. So, but also the cooldown is much shorter. So don't be afraid. Here I see the 2 champion pushing my tower. I cannot really contest this, and since it's past the 12-15 minute mark, it doesn't really matter. Here you can see we'll deal some very good damage. I waste my exhaust, sadly, but still, it's okay. I should have used it on her like right now. And now we try to chase. I miss my E. It's okay. So, oh Mundo, no, he's so tanky. Will we be able to turn this around? Oh my God, Cartus, all fucking Cartus. Ah, boom, 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 double kill. Oh my God, Cartus kills someone. Oh my God, Mundo, no. Okay, we have to run away. And Cassiopeia is just way out of position. So right now, we are trying to run away. But as you can see, Cassiopeia, not a lot of movement speed, and boom, she gets caught. And there's nothing I can do. There's absolutely nothing. Cartus is like kind of farm, kind of semi-fed, so I prefer to just back away. I don't want to die. I'm having a good game, and I feel like I'll have to really carry this one. Even though my team is doing well, I think their positioning is meh. So that's about it. So as you can see now, okay, I discussed about the build options. So basically, that's what you do. You rush the sorcerer shoes because you want the sooner you get them, the more effective they will be throughout the course of the game. After that, you get your phage but just the phage, not the frozen mallet. Why? Because frozen mallet. I was listening to Guardsman Bob's stream, and he said that Frozen Mallet was not very a cost-effective item. Yes, it gives you a slow. Yes, it gives you health. But if you run down the number, it's kind of not. For 3,000 gold item, it's not very effective. So just get the phage, and afterward, if your game goes well, you can evolve it into a Trinity Force, which is also very good on Shyvana. Or if the game goes really south, you can just take the phage, the frozen mallet after getting your warm-up. So rush your sorcerer shoes, get your phage, and after that your warmog, and after that get your wits end, and then after it always depends. I like to build maybe Aegis of the Legion, or you can go for more damage item, but your core build should always be phage, sorcerer shoes, phage, Warmog, Wits End, and then Trinity Force or Frozen Mallet, and after that maybe some supportish tanky item like Aegis of the Legion, because in the end game, as a bruiser, your only function is to protect your damage dealer, and that is in this game Cassiopeia and Israel. So the Aegis of the Legion maybe allows them to live for 0.5 one more second, which can be quite significant if you think about, if you take the average of all the fight that occurs in IELO tournament game and compare it to that. So that's for the build order. Now for the skilling order, as a top laner, you want to effectively max your flame breath first, because if you max your burnout first, you maybe do more potential damage, because if you run the numbers, it's much more damaging to just stay around the target. But the counterplay to that is that you'll push your lane, so maybe you'll put yourself into a tricky position. And if the enemy player is competent, he will just CC you and run away while your burnout is just wasted. Flame Breath is a little bit trickier to hit. Oh, Here, a critical team fight, as you can see. I jump right on Winner gut. This is my role. I just jump on in and exhaust him. And after that, boom! Mundo should have left me the kill, but still. We did manage to kill. Cartus is so fed right now. He's trying. Israel is just... oh god, poor Ez. But he's doing his job. And boom, only Mundo and I left. But still, we managed to get an ace, so that was worth it. So this is an error on the enemy team. They just focus our carries too much, while we focus our carry. But since I'm way stronger than Aurelia and Mundo is way stronger than Nautilus, we're able to after that just mop the rest of the team away, and that will prove to be really key in this game. So on the order maxing, Flame Breath first, Burnout afterward. A point in Q at level 1 to help you like last hit if you're kind of meh at it, and because it deals so much damage early game, especially if you can master the I'd wonder if you... oh, here I get caught. It's not worth it at the 25 minute to just stay to get the blue buff, especially in Shyvana, who doesn't rely on blue. But I'm so tanky because I focus on health. Look, I have 3000 health, and that's one key characteristic of Shyvana. You can build straight health, and since she gets a lot of magic and armor from her ultimate, it will still be very effective. Here, the enemy team could have made a play for Baron, but I don't know. They're not. They prefer to do some silly fighting, like Aurelia going on the support. They should have just group and force a Baron, force a 4v5 fight. Now Aurelia just get caught, and Cassiopeia is dealing quite some damage, as you can see. So, Burnout, Q at level 1, E afterward, W at level 3. You can take W at level 2 if you're getting camped, like it's usually the case right now. And you ult as much as you want. You take Ghost because it gives you more mobility when in team fight to stick on the enemy carries. You can take Flash if you don't feel confident about the jungler. And you take Exhaust because although Ignite is much better early game, Exhaust, since your role is to jump on the enemy carry, you really want to get Exhaust so you can just shut down his damage and more easily kill him when you're fighting. So that's basically, I talked about the Sorcerer Shoes, why I use it. You can use the usual tankiness boot. Oh, here I jump in! And as you can see, Carter's still doing a lot of damage, but I have so much MR, I can just walk into his E, tanking his layaways and stuff like that. And even though he has a triple kill, the fact that they ignore our bruiser while we kill the physical damage, and that their own bruiser are so weak, it basically makes us an easy win. Here me and Mundo try to just jump on him, but I don't think it's... no, I decide to bait, and poor Mundo, I just left him to die, but as you can see, nothing else I can really do. Mundo not very good in a straight skirmish, because basically doesn't have as much damage or late game as, let's say, Aurelia, and Nautilus would just have CC the shit out of me. So instead of 2 dying, we lost 1. So it's a fairly even trade. So I talked about why I take Sorcerer Shoes. I will publish a video soon when I get their number right, and if I really find something, I confirm my finding, that will show you some nice equation and graph, and if you're into that kind of stuff, maybe you'll look at it. I know I might get flames for that. I try to probe the interest on the forum about this subject, and many people ask for proof, many people called me a troll, and I'm sure that if I take the time to prove it, lots of misinterpretation, lots of just straight on hating, but I'm sure, my goal is really just to advance the knowledge. As I said earlier in this video, I'm actually starting a master degree in metallurgy, so that means maybe I'm not the best scientist around, but I have an interest to become a scientist in the near future, maybe for my career or at least for doctoral studies. So I know a thing or two about the scientific engineering method, because engineer are kind of scientists, but still So maybe you will not trust what I say, but you can be sure that I will still try to give you the best, most plausible, most clear explanation on the optimal penetration, which will be valid for every role, and my model in the final stage will be valid for every role and every position, for armor and for magic penetration. So I think that would be a great step in trying to optimize. Maybe at first just the bruiser play, but as the game goes on, maybe the AP role and stuff like that. Here, as you can see, Urgot is just way too out of position, but we decide not to engage. Oh, but Mundo decided to that he had enough, and he just, oh no, he's not initiating. So I will do more video on Shyvana top. I think this game is about to end, so I will try to go into some great details. I try to cover the build and the scaling order and why and this and that. You can try it if you want. As I said, this is almost 1700 average yellow game, and now Cassiopeia get caught. It's almost, now I was like, it's GG, but Cassiopeia, as long as he burns his ult, it will be useful. So we try to fight. As again, they just focus Ezreal, but this time I'm smart about it. I just decide to protect Ezreal. This is my role. I exhaust Aurelia. She's not able to deal damage. Carlos just runs to me thinking that he will deal damage, but as you can see, I didn't even lose 20% of my health, so whatever. Poor Carlos. He had a good game. It was like maybe 12-5 at one point, but their bruiser are just way too weak. Aurelia is really strong in the late game, but if you can at least win even by a slight margin with Shyvana, with exhaust, you will be able to just out damage her. Also, this Aurelia build is not very good. Aurelia has enough sustain with her hit and style. Don't build this. Rush your Trinity Force or get more tankiness. I don't like Rigorous Lantern, especially after the nerf. It's really a boring item. It makes every top lane with physical damage bruiser a farm fest, and personally I think that is very boring, and I think that that's the opinion of Riot too. So just try to balance sustain and damage, just to make the game more interesting, and to always stay ahead of the metagame, because if you rely too much on sustain to be performant, once Riot will nerf it, and believe me, it has been pretty nerfed steadily as the month and the years goes by. You will get less and less effective in this, and you will have to adapt. So just adapt right now. Right now. So for Shyvana, she's a solo top laner with no sustain mechanisms. So basically, that's why I like her. But since a lot of other top laner has sustain mechanisms, I strongly suggest that you invest into the flat HP per 5 second quintessence, because they're really good for any top laner that has no sustain, like Charvan, Shyvana, Darius. Although Darius is even more OP than anything you can see in League of Legends, but still. So as you can see here, the game is drawing to a close. We're preparing. Oh, good grab, but he gets silent by Soraka. Very strong. I dive, and we just managed, me and Mundo, to cut Carlos from doing his area effect damage, and I have so much MR, it deals nothing to me. So that's really fun, and we're able to land the ace. So I hope you enjoy, and we will wrap this one up. So I hope that you found the game interesting, and that you find my commentating and my general guides and the aspect I invoked in this video pertinent. As I said, I know that many of you will find that my choice of boot is maybe a little bit unorthodox, but to those people I will say just try it. Maybe you'll have fun, maybe it won't fit your playstyle, but personally I was inspired by people using Sorcerer Shoes on Warwick for using this on Shyvana, and I found that it was quite effective and quite fun to use. Maybe not viable at 2.9,000 ELO, but for my for my level of play, and I had a lot of success with this build, with a lot of very competitive solo top laner. And lastly, if you might find this choice unorthodox, but if you're playing if you choose to play Shyvana top, you have to play in an unorthodox way, because she is not a very classical, if I may say, type of solo top bruiser that you can use in the current metagame, the current state of the game. So I hope you enjoyed. As I said, I will try to work on my modelization of defense penetration in League of Legends, try to do some nice video with craft and stuff like that. Maybe it interests you, maybe you will not like it. As I said, I'm not doing this for getting anything, but just to advance the general knowledge of League of Legends. I just want to give back to the community. And my next champion video will probably be another Cassidin one. In this one, I will be playing versus, as I said, a Riven in my a month ago video. It was around 1650 LO, so a good demonstration on how you can turn around a really bad matchup. So I hope you enjoyed, and take care, guys.